All right, Mike Rossi, you were the one that previewed LA Knight versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam for me. Overall, what's your thoughts 3-4 months later here of LA Knight's U.S. title reign?
I think it's been pretty good. I mean, we talk a lot about the restrictions that he kind of has in ring from an in ring perspective, but I definitely feel like he's been important to SmackDown while the Bloodline stuff's been going on. Because Cody hasn't been really focused on defending the title between all of the crown jewel build and everything. So and then he was tied into the Bloodline stuff before that. So I think it's been really important for Knight to have the title and kind of be upper mid card, like maybe above what the U.S. title's typically held at.
Yeah, that's
He's
good.
had pretty good matches between the Carmelo matches, the Andrade match, both of them together. I think he had a good match at SmackDown against
Humberto,
Kaiser. Yeah. So he's getting matches out of guys that really aren't doing much otherwise. So I actually think this is a really good opportunity to bring Nakamura back too.
Yeah, it feels like LA Knight is in the Cody Rhodes slot from last fall, right? It's just like, all right, we need a challenger of the month or 6 weeks. Let's kind of throw Nakamura in there. Let's stretch it out and let's kind of see what we got. I don't think Nakamura on TV week to week would do Nakamura longevity wise good. So him in this little spooky Ghostbuster role he got going on here in the match graphic is actually a pretty good role. He just lacks overall credibility. There's like no chance that he wins this match, but like I guess you could never say never. I could see it if they wanted to like get him like off of Knight, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
Yeah, like this almost feels like this could be a match that becomes like one of those, like, not to make Nakamura goofy, but this could end up being like a rematch when they do like all like the Christmas presents at ringside. You know what I mean? Like It kind of feels like this is going to be a little bit more than just this match as a feud. So like Nakamura might lose this slipping on a banana peel or something. I don't think it's going to be like an overpowering win for Knight, but just enough. And I do think that it's important to get Knight on the Survivor Series card because it kind of adds, I think just being on the show adds a little bit more credibility to the title.
Yeah, it's just, I wish they went with the WWE tag team titles, really, if you think about it. I feel like that's just such a better spot. I get it. The Guns, Profits, and DIY definitely deserve it, but Knight's probably more important. And to your point, yeah, it is important to kind of get him on a bigger stage like the Survivor Series, and he earned it. His 3-way at Crown Jewel was fantastic. I think I went like 3 3/4, almost 4 on it, and it was only a 9.5-minute match, if that really.
It was probably the match of the night. Yeah.
What I will say is, though, I don't really love how Knight was like inserted into the game 7 of it all. I felt Andrade and Carmelo earned a real game 7. I understand that probably didn't want to give either guy that boost yet, and they can always go back to it. That's the only thing in Knight's run so far that I was like, that was kind of weak or lame. Because overall, I'll defend Knight to the hills. I've defended him since 2021, since he came into the company. I think he's a rock star, man. I think he's old. His style, yeah, people could knock it, but it's so WWE, and whatever his highlights are, they magnify him. And yeah, he slips on a rope or he, has a whiff on a clothesline or something, whatever. Like, it's not his strong suit, but not no one, but a lot of people don't have his charisma and connection with the crowd. And that's overall most important to his star power. So, yeah. With
until
that being said,
until he starts losing the pop, then you keep going with him.
I don't even see that coming, really.
No, me neither. Me neither.
And with that being said, where do you see a ceiling? Do you think it's this elevation of the United States title? Because he's not making the title's not really making him. It's justifying him, and he's kind of making the title right now.
So I have a gut feeling that Nakamura wins this match, and let me explain why.
Go for it.
I think that it's a way to elevate him pretty quickly. I think he's somebody that they kind of waited on finding a spot for, and this kind of just worked out perfectly as Knight needing an opponent. But Nakamura is he's doing a match in Japan around like right after the New Year. It's not for New Japan, but it's for like, I don't even know what it is. But I could see him doing that and bringing this title to kind of help WWE, in Japan. So I mean, that could be an argument to say why he wouldn't win it either, right? But it's just like I have a gut feeling the way they introduced Nakamura into this, and I think Knight doesn't really get hurt by losing to a Nakamura, and I could see him eventually winning it back around the Rumble or so. But it might actually work to, freshen up Nakamura. SmackDown. If SmackDown ends up going 3 hours after the New Year, like a lot of people are saying, you're going to need to really start elevating some people to kind of just, add value to the overall roster. And I mean, Nakamura is somebody that can come in, win this title, and automatically feel like he's super important. And, I think he's somebody that they've kind of been waiting to do something with, and it just feels like the time.
Yeah, I think they're in a good spot with Nakamura in general for what he is. And you have a little bit more faith than me, but overall, it is meaningful. When he showed up on SmackDown 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, wow, Nakamura. We haven't seen him in months and months and months. But, he's got a little different look. He's got whatever charisma he still has. And, yeah, they did do a good job of presenting him as a threat for this United States title. Overall, fuck, Mike. I'm going Knight. I gave Nakamura 10%. Yeah, you just gonna go Nakamura and be the
I'm gonna go Nakamura. I feel like it's just the perfect storm for Nakamura win. And like I said, I don't really think this is gonna be like a one, maybe even 2-match feud. I think they're gonna go a little while with this. And if that's the case, I feel like Nakamura should win the title at some point. And I feel like now it's gonna be a little bit more impactful than if you do it on like a SmackDown episode, a month from now.
I would be shocked, but then again, I kind of wouldn't. But overall, I would. I see where you're coming from. I would be a little bit shocked. So, all right,
I think it's a good way to test out Knight too, and like test out the crowd. Like, will the crowd continue to give a shit about him when he doesn't have the title? They should. I'm not worried about that, but I think it's just a good opportunity to kind of surprise people too, because I don't think that people really see it coming, and I feel like the rest of Survivor Series will probably be quasi predictable, we'll say. So I think this kind of feels like the red herring match to me.
Yeah, this is the most predictable one for me. So we're on different side of the fences, but overall, it should be a good match. It'll probably be under the radar a little bit just because there's other things that are much more important at Survivor Series. But overall, it should be pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm excited for it. I think that I definitely agree to your point with the tag titles. It almost feels like they don't really have that sorted yet with like the Ciampa Gargano stuff.
Though. They don't. Maybe it's not ready for them, but
right.
Yeah.
So then at the end of the day, if they maybe save that for Saturday night's main event in a 3-way, maybe they do a ladder match even. That could be a way to kind of hook people onto that show a little bit more than they already will be with Cody.
True. All right, Mike. Well, this is a cool, short and sweet one. Hopefully the match isn't that. So, as always, Mike, we'll see you on the next one, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good, man. Bye.